Now we're going to take a look at Tune for a Warm Day. First thing we want to look for are patterns. We have one such pattern that occurs here, this figure in the right hand, and it also repeats later over here. So let's learn that pattern there. We have 3 flats in this. 3 flats which would generally indicate that we are in the key of E flat major. However, in this case, we're not. If you look, you can see that we have an F ending the piece. So we're actually in the key of F. But this is not F major or F minor. It starts like F minor, but then you have a raised 6th scale degree. Okay, so this is a particular mode that's known as Dorian. Dorian. So we can write that here. This is an F Dorian. And Dorian mode is a natural minor with a raised 6th scale degree. So that's how you can remember what Dorian mode is. If you're looking for a scale that has all white keys, that's Dorian. You'd start on the note D. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And that makes Dorian very easy to remember because Dorian starts with D, and a white key scale starting on the note D is Dorian. So this would be D Dorian. In this case, we have F Dorian. Now let's go ahead and look at the finger numbers here. I'm going to go ahead and write cautionary accidentals. I think that's a great idea. If there's any chance that you think you might need help remembering the flats, certainly do the same. Starts on 4th finger, so finger numbers is just going to be 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, and you're going to stretch between the F and the D. Do the same thing here, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. Let's try that with the right hand. So I'm starting with my 4th finger on A flat, 4, 3, 2, and then my thumb stretches to D, and back to the F. And if I count this, it starts on beat 4, so 1, 2, and 3, and 4, E, and O, 1, and 2, and 3. Again, 4, E, and O, 1. Just like that. Let's try one more time. 3, and 4, E, and O, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, E, and O, 1, and 2, and 3, and. We can go ahead and add the left hand. It's pretty easy here. We have an F, C, F, which in Dorian is going to be tonic, dominant, tonic. Tonic, dominant, tonic. So that's what's happening in the left hand. And we just use 2 on F, 5 on C, and back to 2 on F. And the left hand repeats on the 2nd bar exactly the same notes. In fact, the left hand repeats also on bar 3 and also on bar 4. Okay, so the left hand is going to play the same thing for 4 measures in a row. So let's go ahead and try the first 2 measures together, hands together. 3 and 4, E, and O, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, E, and O, 1, and 2, and 3, and. We're going to call this section A1, or just section A. We'll just keep it simple, A. And we know that section A repeats again right over here. So I'm going to call this section A as well. To divide sections up, I'm going to use a breath mark like this, just so I have a clear indication, especially since each of these phrases starts on the pickup beat. You can tell that it starts on the pickup beat because of the slur here. It does not start here on the downbeat, but it actually starts here on the fourth beat of the previous bar. Okay. Same thing here on the second iteration of the A phrase. Okay. So we continue. Again, I'm going to mark cautionary accidentals. We have an A flat here, and we have a B flat. We also have an E flat, another E flat, and we're just going to go to this point here. Now let's work out the finger numbers for the right hand. We know the left hand is playing the same F, C, F. Right hand starts with the second finger. Third finger will be on the B flat, then we go to our thumb on the C. So A flat, B flat, then we shift to our thumb on C. 2, 3, 1. That puts us in C position, which means fourth finger will play the F, and third finger on the E flat, second finger on the D, third finger on the E flat, and back to our thumb on C. All right, let's try this section together, just the right hand. So we're going to start with the second finger on the note A flat. We have A flat, B flat, shift to your thumb on C. Now you're in C position, so fourth finger is on F, third finger is E flat, and then second finger on D. Back to E flat, and back to C. Now let's try it in time. Again, second finger on A flat. 2, and 3, and 4, and shift. 1 to F, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And now let's try this very slowly, hands together. Before we actually put it all hands together, I'd like us to try just these 3 beats. The first, second, and third beats of bar 3, just to get used to this. So left hand plays F, right hand plays C with your thumb. Left hand goes down to C, right hand goes up to F, left hand goes back to F, right hand goes down to E flat. So we have 1 and 2 and 3. Again. 1 and 2 and 3. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3. If you can do that well, then you should be ready to put it together. So now the right hand second finger starts on the A flat. Remember to shift to the C, and that's when the left hand plays F. Here we go. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and left hand plays 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so go ahead and do that a few times. Get that down. We're going to call this section B. Section B. Once you have that down, we can try putting the A and B sections together. So left hand second finger is on F. Right hand starts fourth finger on the A flat for the beginning. 2 and 3 and 4 E and all 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and all 1 and 2. Now the right hand shifts second finger up to A flat and 4 and shift to C. 1 and 2 and 3 put some repetitions in to get comfortable with that section. Going on. If we look at the left hand, now it does change. We have a G, C, G, so we'll use 1, 5, 1. We stay in the same position. Then it goes back to F, C, F, so this is 2, 5, 2 again. So the left hand is G, C, G, then back to F, C, F. Okay, so that's important to remember. So maybe you want to circle that. You could even write the fact that it's a G. So remind yourself if you want. Now let's look at the right hand for that section. Again, we're just going to take it in 2-bar fragments here. And again, I'm going to write myself the cautionary accidentals. So we have B flat, A flat, and again, B flat, A flat, and one more A flat. And now let's work out the finger numbers for the right hand. It starts with 4th finger on the C. Okay, so maybe in this case, I'm just going to write C above here, and then 4th finger on B flat here. So the finger numbers will be 4, 3, 2, 3, and again, 4, 3, 2, 3. Let's try the right hand together. So the 4th finger starts on C. Your 3rd and 2nd fingers will be on B flat and A flat respectively. So we have 4, 3, 2, 3, like that. Then you're going to shift down. 4th finger now moves down to B flat. 3rd finger's on A flat. 4, 3, 2, 3, like that. Now you could choose to play this without shifting. You could do 4, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, and not shift at all. And that's absolutely acceptable. But oftentimes pianists choose to shift simply to maintain the same finger numbers. 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 2, or 4, 3, 2, 3. Sometimes that feels easier than just staying in position and switching fingers. So I'll leave that up to you. Len Freeman Olson has recommended shifting down. Okay. Let's try it in time now. 2, 3, 4, oh, let, 1, 2, shift, 4, oh, let, 1. And now we can try that hands together. The left hand's going to start on G, C, G, and then F, C, F. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, oh, let, 1, 2, shift down, 4, oh, let, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And we'll call this section C, just to stay consistent and simple. All right, coming right along. Now let's take a look at the next section. Again, I'm going to write in my cautionary accidentals. In this case, we just have an A flat on the beginning of bar 7. Finger numbers. We're going to start with the 2nd finger on F. If you want to write an F there, you can. 2nd finger, 3rd finger on G, 4th finger on the A flat, 2nd finger on F, thumb on D, and back to 2nd finger on F. And so if you want to write some of the letter names in, you can. And then ending on 3rd finger on G. When you're reading piano music, you've got a lot to look at. So pianists in general like to write a lot of notes on their music just to make it easier for themselves. Okay, so it's not cheating. It's just part of the process. So starting with second finger on F, so you have F, then 3 on G, then fourth finger A flat, down to 2 on F, thumb on D, so you have to stretch, back to the F, and to G. Okay, let's do the right hand in time. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, thumb on D, and 3 and 4 and 1. Now if we look at the left hand, it's a bit different. On the left hand, we start on a D now. So again, if you want to write this in, you can. It starts on D. Then it goes to A flat here. I'm going to write my cautionary accidental A flat. And then it goes back to G, D, G. And again, if you want to write some notes to help yourselves out, go for it. And then I'm going to write the fingering in. So the left hand here, we're going to do fifth finger on the D, and then you can either use your thumb on the A flat or you could use second finger. And G, D, G could either be 2, 5, 2 if you're using your thumb on A flat, or if you use second finger on the A flat, then you just go back to 1, 4, 1. Okay, so the two options, you could do 5 on D, thumb on A flat, and then G, D, G, 2, 5, 2. The advantage of this fingering is you don't have any shifting. The disadvantage is that you have to use your thumb on a black key, which can feel very awkward because you've got to slide your hand more forward. The other option is to start fifth finger on D, second finger on A flat, and then return to your thumb on G. 1, fourth on D. The advantage of this fingering is you don't have to put your thumb on a black key. Also, you're going to be in the correct position for the next section. The disadvantage, of course, is that you have that fingering here, which is very pianistic in that it will fit your hand very well, but it might be a little tricky for you. Either fingering is acceptable. Most trained pianists will select the second fingering, avoiding the thumb on the black key. Okay? In general, the more advanced you become as a pianist, the more you will select fingerings based on technical easefulness, or just the physicality of it. So we'll typically select fingerings that require less physical effort and less physical discomfort, rather than avoiding shifts. But beginners typically will try to avoid shifting because shifting takes extra thinking at first. So let's try putting this section together slowly. And again, we're just going to start from bar 7. Without the pickups first, okay? So left hand starts fifth finger on D. The right hand starts fourth finger on A flat, and it's outlining a D diminished triad. Okay. Let's try it slowly. And D and A flat, F. Now left hand goes to A flat, and right hand goes to D. Right hand returns to F, and both hands go to G. Like that. It's going to sound a little funny because of the diminished triad. When you're comfortable with that, you can try adding in the pickups to bar 7. Second finger on F. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 And we'll call this section D. Let's find a different color. Section D. Okay. Then, of course, the A section repeats once again, which leads us down to the pickups to bar 11. And if you look at bar 11, this is very similar to what we had at the section B in the right hand. There are some slight changes, but it's almost absolutely identical. Let's write in cautionary accidentals. We have an A flat, we have a B flat. Then we have an E flat and another E flat. Okay. So if you compare that to the B section, the only difference is that we have an additional note right here. That's the only difference. We have the added F. So the fingering is going to be the same. 2, 3, we shift to 1 on C, which means fourth finger will play F, third finger on E flat, back to fourth finger on F, second finger on D, third finger on E flat, and back to your thumb on C. The left hand is playing F, C, F this whole time, so just like in the beginning, 2, 5, 2, 2, 5, 2, 2, 5, 2, 2, 5, 2. Just like the first 4 bars, the left hand is going to play the same notes, F, C, F, 4 bars consecutively. Okay, so let's try the right hand in this section, starting second finger on A flat. Go up second finger on A flat, third finger on B flat, then you shift to your thumb on C, fourth finger to F, third finger E flat, back to fourth finger F, second on D, E flat, and C. 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1. Pretty simple. Okay, let's try the next part here. So we can call this section B2 because it's very similar to the first B section. Call it B2. On this next section here, let's write in our cautionary accidentals. We have a B flat, another B flat, another B flat, and an A flat. For our finger numbers, we're going to start with a few options here. We're going to start with third finger on the B flat here. Okay, third finger on B flat. So fourth finger will be on C, fifth finger on D, third finger B flat, fifth finger D, fourth on C, third finger B flat, fourth on C. Then you're going to stretch second finger to A flat and stretch thumb to F. And now let's try it together. So third finger on B flat. So you have third finger B flat, then you go up to fourth on C, fifth on D, back to B flat, third finger, fifth finger D, 4, 3, 4, second finger on A flat, thumb on F. Like that. 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3. For the left hand on these 2 bars, we're going to use second finger on the B flat here, fifth finger on F, and back to third finger on the A flat, and thumb on C. And I am writing some of those notes there, just to make it a bit easier. So 2 on B flat, 5 on F, third finger on A flat, together, it sounds like this. You can do the same strategy we did for the other parts, where you just start without the pickups, get the hands synchronized together. If it helps, you can draw the vertical lines that connects the notes, where the left hand changes and plays with the right hand. You can even practice just those. So you could say, okay, bar 13 downbeat, left hand B flat D, third beat, left hand F, D, downbeat of 14, A flat C, third beat C, F. Where I'm just playing this, where the notes play together between the hands. So that's one way you can break it down. And then add in the other notes. Okay. So these are some effective strategies that you can try to employ. And now let's look at the very last section here. This is basically, and let's give this a name here, actually. So let's call this section, we've already had section D, so we'll call this E here. This final section is very similar to B again, so we're going to just call this B3. I'll write in my cautionary accidentals. We have an A flat, a B flat, an E flat, another E flat in the right hand. Finger numbers, we'll start with second finger on A flat, third finger on B flat, then you shift to your thumb on C, just like we did in the other two B sections. Fourth finger goes to F, and then we have third finger on F, fourth finger on F, third finger on E flat, and back to fourth finger on F. So the right hand will sound like this, starting with second finger on A flat. 2, 3, shift to thumb on C, then to F, fourth finger, then a triplet. 3, 4, 3, 4, like that. Pretty easy. On the ending for the left hand here, we're going to use our thumb on F. And thus far, we've been using second finger on F, so this is a bit different. Okay? Fourth finger on C. And the reason we're doing that is so that we can reach this octave. This is just an F octave here. 1, 5. Notice rhythmically here, the notes in this penultimate measure do not align. There's a suspension that happens here. So the rhythm 1 and 2 and left hand plays on beat 3 here. And then the right hand comes back on 4, O, let. Okay, so we want to make sure that rhythm is correct. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, O, let, 1, 2, 3. So just make sure that you are counting that carefully. Okay, so that's Tune for a Warm Day. And I'll play it through for you so you can hear how it sounds. 1 and 2 and 3 and